You're watching The Money Show. I'm Kavita Thapliyal, and this is your one-stop destination for all your personal finance queries. And today on the show, we'll be focusing on your ITR filing process. Yes, 15 September, that's a deadline. You do not have much time. And today on the show, in our special segment, Tax Guide, we'll be answering your tax-related queries, also your ITR filing-related queries. But apart from that, we also do your financial planning on the show. So just in case you have anything about any aspect of your investments and insurance or tax or loan or anything in between, do send across your questions on our WhatsApp number, which is 865-7974-571. The email ID is themoneyshow@etnow.tv. All right, so let's begin, and we are joined by Sudhir Kaushik, who is the tax expert for us today and who will be answering all your tax-related queries. Sudhir, hi, good evening, welcome to the show. And before I begin, Sudhir, I just want to ask you last-minute mistakes that people usually do when they are filing their ITR, because this is what happens. Even after an extension, we are seeing a lot of them being filed during the last week. Okay, the deadline is around the corner, so that people don't land up getting a scrutiny email or an inquiry. What are the last minute mistakes that people do which should be avoided?
So good evening, Kavita, and thanks for inviting me. Generally, there is a saying, one stitch in time saves many. So if you are not failing to file this return, you would be helping yourself only, because the tax department has a lot of information. So still people are not reporting their all source of income, simply declaring all bank accounts. That's mandatory now, but people are taking by choice. They will get some kind of a clarificatory notice at least. So bank account has to be given. Generally, they are arguing, I have given one bank account, even if there is a refund. So why should I give my loan account detail further? I have genuine. So those who are genuine people, they should understand that the tax department keeps on changing. And why they are changing? Because there are tax evaders still out of this tax net. People were claiming false deductions. People were claiming false, I would say, not declaring complete income. They were declaring only one employer income or one gig income. So there are a lot of people who are still using wrong metrics. But the department is asking you to give more information so that they can reconcile. And those who are honest, they will not be bothered further. But if you are not giving complete information, as the people are saying, I will give only one bank account detail, so definitely they will get some kind of a notice. Then those who are not reporting correct head of income, suppose you have F&O income, which is in business income, and you are claiming as capital gain. So that's a kind of a underreporting, and underreporting gets penalized at the rate of 50%. So underreporting, misreporting, if you are not reporting your income, you say, I don't want to file my return, even if it is mandatory. People, those who have below 7 lakh, they are assuming that I am not supposed to file tax return because there is no tax payable. However, the department or the law says it is mandatory if your income is above 3 lakh in new tax regime and 2.5 lakh in old tax regime. So mandatory filing will be penalized by getting notices from the department, and very soon you will see those who are not filing, even if mandatory, it's very easy to catch from your TDS. It's not very difficult for the department. They are just waiting for the right time so that the people, those who want to comply themselves, they are not penalized. Otherwise, 1,000 rupees is the minimum penalty for whatever the income level you have below 5 lakh, and above 5 lakh, they would be penalized with 5,000 rupees late fees. Then there would be underreporting, misreporting, or late filing also. It would be a kind of a 25% of your tax, additional tax you have to pay if you are filing ITRU. So in case of belated return, there would be some difficulty in filing your losses also if you are not filing within due date. So you would not be able to carry forward those losses. So there are a number of things which people generally don't follow, and they get some kind of a financial loss also and stress also. If you are going into a marriage and you are getting a tax notice, if you are traveling with your family, so it's better to file correct return well in time. As I mentioned, one stitch in time saves many. Otherwise, you will have a lot of to and fro information further. Similarly, sometimes they are doing avoiding clubbing of income. They are giving money to their spouse, and spouse has no income. They are trying to avoid the taxes at their end. So they would also be getting some kind of clarificatory notices. And then if they are not matching AIS, however, there are people who have started matching their AIS so far. Earlier, it was not clear to the assessees that department knows my dividend income, so they were not declaring their dividend income. So people who have been filing for long, especially, they are questioning the system again and again, why they are asking so much information. But the department has the reason to ask, because they want to track all the information who are paying correctly tax. They would not be asked further questions. Most likely they would be going through. Even I have seen returns are getting processed in a day or two, and the people are getting
It's
refunds
not even in
also.
a day or two. In fact, it's within hours. 6 o'clock you file your ITR, and then if there is a refund, you have it like within 2 hours of time. So that is the speed at which the income tax department is working, and hats off to them. All you have to do is just be mindful of the information that you are filing in. But then, Sudhir, let's move on, and it's time to connect with our viewers as well, and let's start taking their questions. From Jodhpur, I have Ramesh's question. And he's asking, do I need to file an ITR if my income is below 2.5 lakhs?
Yes, you have to file if you have electricity bill above rupees 1 lakh, or you have travel above 2 lakh during the
Okay.
financial year. You have funded for yourself, or for your family also. You would have to file those who have spent that money. The third would be if you have any foreign asset. You have been there for some job or some business or some other purposes, and there is a bank account. Even bank account, if you have, or some shares from a ESOP, or if you have a foreign company, you have been working with MNC, so then also you have to file mandatorily the ITR. The third thing would be if you want to carry forward your losses. So unless until you file your return that is within the due date, even late filing would not allow you. So the carry forward of losses is also allowed under that. If you want to claim any refund, suppose your gig worker income is below 2 lakh or 3 lakh, so then also you have to file to get your refund back. So these are the major condition. Then there are some business income about 25 lakh. If you have something, so you have to turn over and file your ITR. Similarly, some cash, if you are withdrawing, so there is a section where if you are withdrawing 20 lakh plus cash during the financial year, you have to file mandatorily, and you have not been filing that return. People are getting those notices also. Those business has been, or individuals, sorry, not businesses, those who have withdrawn from saving account. So people, those who are withdrawing cash also, they need to file at up to a certain limit. Up to 20 lakh, there is no requirement if you don't have any other income. But if you suddenly withdraw cash from your bank account, even then you have to file ITR. So these are the condition where income is below 2.5 lakh or 3 lakh in new tax regime, but you have to file ITR mandatorily.
One, Sudhir, and okay, this question is from Sonam, and she says that she has income from salary and also interest earning from her investments. Which ITR form should she be choosing? Now, that's a question. I don't have any more details beyond that, but very interesting because she's a salaried individual and is also investing. And when we are talking about investing, there comes an angle of capital gains, if at all it's equity, and also an angle of setting it off against losses, which I'm sure you will help our viewers understand better.
So if the income means salary income is below 50 lakh, then ITR 1 is applicable. If the income is above 50 lakh, then ITR 1 is not applicable for Sonam or anybody who is in the same income. In interest, generally it is from fixed deposit, the most common, or the bonds also. And there are very less chances of even in bonds also capital gain can happen. But in FDs there is no capital gain. It's always tax on a accrual basis. Generally, the people who declare in their ITR. So ITR 1 would be the most possible chances. If you have some foreign income or foreign asset, as I mentioned, or you are an NRI by any chance, then you have to file other ITR 2 or 3 as applicable. If you have some other income or a capital gain which is above 1.25 lakh, which is not, she has not mentioned here, then ITR 2 would be applicable. If you have done any crypto transaction, any gain, even if 10 rupees gain or 20 rupees gain, then also you cannot file ITR 1. So, but she has not mentioned all those details. I'm just assuming there is nothing like other income or crypto or capital gain. So, hence, she can continue ITR 1. And if the status, residential status changes, or some income, as I mentioned, above 50 lakh, or some type of income or source of income changes, then also she needs to change the ITR form. And this is salary income. So gig worker can use ITR 4, which is we call Sugam also, and they can use a deemed income option. So I would say either we have to ask more question from
We
Sonam,
have a
otherwise.
question of a gig worker. So, before you go on elaborating the gig workers part, the next question is in fact from one of them. How should freelancers or consultants file their ITR? So, this is Jahangir who's asking the question. See, what happens with gig workers is because they have more than one income sources, they could be salaried or they could be individual professionals also working as freelancers or consultants. Now, if they are doing both, okay, I don't know, because gig working is quite a gray area where you are doing multiple jobs. So in one profession you could be a professional, you can be a self-employed person, and in one profession you could be someone who's giving their services, being an employee. So how do you figure out those different ITR forms? This can be very complex also for each of them.
So gig worker has, we have studies now.
Mm-hmm.
It would be around 50%. The overall job seekers, those who are working, it is growing further. And by 2030, we are assuming that it would reach out 50% of the workforce would be as gig workers. So this is so highly adoptable in the system that the companies are also hiring, whether it is Zomato or some other type of companies which are coming. They are very, very successfully working on a trust basis. Whatever the business they are getting through them, they are paying accordingly, whatever the commission or you say referral fees, etc. So the system is evolving and it is going into the right direction. Yes, people say gray area or something. After COVID, people have been trying to have some kind of a work and life balance. If you go office 9 to 6, there is no time left for family also. There are people who need some attention in their family. There are some medical issues or some children issue, and there are different. So money making is one thing because everyone wants to grow in their career also. However, this gig worker help to work in different time zones basically. So that's where I am not very against, or I don't call it gray area. It's the people because something new has come up. So it's not bad. They are just a different kind of a way of earning. So in case of gig workers, they get Form 16A, and that is under the income tax law only. And similarly, if an employee or employer relation is there, then Form 16 is being given by the employer. So in case of the employer, you submit your proof for your investment, for your whatever the HRA receipt, etc. In case of gig worker, no proof submission is there. You have to declare while filing ITR. If you are working with one or two or three companies as gig worker, so then you have to combine all those incomes. And if the income is higher, say 10 lakh, 20 lakh, then you might be paying more taxes because the tax has been deducted, say 1%, 2%, 5%, or maybe 10%. But your slab is increasing during the combined income. You have to combine all those three, your principal companies where you have been working. So in case your income is less than 7 lakh and you are opting for new tax regime, you would be getting all the refund, whatever the tax has been deducted, because there is no tax up to 7 lakh. So majority of the gig worker has income less than 7 lakh, wherein we have been helping to get them income tax refund by filing their ITR 4. That's the simplest return. So we generally file for them. So, and there are some notified section also. Freelancer is a very, very big term now. all the YouTube influencers, all those kind of a technical
Absolutely.
concepts.
Totally,
So
totally. That's a
they are coming at the same.
exactly. So that's a different gig economy, that's really catching up. But on that note, Sudhir, it's time up on this particular segment today. Thank you so much for being our guest on Tax Guide and helping our viewers file their last minute ITRs. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Okay, time for a quick break on the Money Show. But then when we are back, we'll be joined by our expert Abhijit Choksi, who will be doing our life financial planning.